You got the touch.
This is Stan Bush, and this epic video from Optibotimus truly has the touch.
With another video review. And today, thanks to the folks at Captured Prey as well as Kapow Toys, we'll be taking a look at the new Transformers masterpiece MP-12 Lambor, now otherwise known as Sideswipe, which is who I'll probably refer to him as. Lambor is kind of the Japanese name for him. Much like Optimus Prime was Convoy, that's what we basically have going on here with Sideswipe. As you can see, gorgeous packaging on here, and one of the biggest things that you're going to notice is that this is an officially licensed product from Lamborghini. In order to do this and create its G1 look of the Lamborghini Countach, you had to get the actual license from them, which is why the classic version of Sideswipe obviously didn't look like it. It was kind of a more modern looking Lamborghini, but that's what you have. One thing you're going to notice is that the packaging on this is very small. Now for a size comparison, just to kind of give you an idea, and zooming back fairly far, you can see that the ARMS Micron packaging is roughly the same size. It is a little bit thicker. Sideswipe's is a little bit smaller, as you can see here, but in case you guys don't have a figure like this, again, just for size reference, here's a deluxe class Thundercracker from the Generations line, and you can kind of see, I guess, the way the packaging is, but pretty small. And that might be some of the people out there's kind of biggest gripe, is that it is pretty small, but you got a nice Transformers Masterpiece reflective logo right there. The box is a very nice quality, like all the Masterpiece figures, and then you come around here to the bottom and you've got the hologram right here for Lamborghini, showing again that it is an officially licensed product. Car, robot, blah, a whole bunch of stuff I can't read. Vehicle mode, the fact that he can actually fit inside MP-10, which is fantastic. There's a nice little size comparison, which I'll show off here in a little bit. And then his weapons. So there's the packaging for it. Really very nice. Definitely a masterpiece quality package and a great looking image here on the front. So let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have MP-12 open up and out of its packaging. And right up front, some of the things that he automatically comes with, obviously I'm going to set this off in the back, he comes with his instruction manual. Again, you got the Lamborghini logo here. Really very cool. I love here how on the back it kind of shows various kind of G1 pictures and stuff, and what you're kind of getting when you're getting some of these accessories and stuff. You got some images. I wish I could read some of this stuff, but I unfortunately cannot. You also get this really nice Masterpiece collector card, which we've gotten ever since the beginning of the Masterpiece line. Really nice kind of artistic drawing here of Sideswipe. Flip around here on the back. You got the toy image, you got the car image of it, you got a read up here, which again I cannot read, and its technical specs. So very nice. I still love that they include these. A lot of third-party companies are starting to include these as well, and it's a nice way to kind of add to the collectability of these figures. Now in addition to that kind of normal stuff, there are a couple other places that you can order this from to get extra incentives. If you place your order with Kapow Toys, they actually have, I believe it's the Amazon Japan exclusive set, which come with chrome pile drivers that are basically seen here. Now honestly, I've tried looking. I don't know where that comes from. Now there are some G1 episodes that you can see where he has a weapon, like kind of like a gun, that has that kind of wedge edge on the end of it. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to reference, or there was an episode where we saw he actually had drill bits that come out. I don't know if that's what that's supposed to reference. He does come with the pile drivers, and we'll get to this in a little bit, but these are a lot more easily identifiable in some of the episodes. So I'm not 100% sure where those chrome ones come with, but they are nice regardless. Now if you order yours through Captured Prey, randomly packed in, you could have a chance to get this. Now this is the China exclusive. If you order it from China or something like that, I guess you get this sent to you. It's the Masterpiece Collector coin. It has a really nice coin here, and the packaging on here is absolutely awesome. As you can see, it's a tire, and it actually rotates around, and you can see like this is the brake pad in there, and it's like a tire. Very cool. One thing I find interesting is it says Hasbro right here on the bottom. And I'll get to that here in a little bit, but you got a nice Autobot logo here. But this is a steel coin. I honestly don't know what to do with it. I don't know if I should take it out and use it in like a display or something, or just leave it in this. I think I'll just leave it in this. But again, randomly packed in with your order, you could possibly get this for free. So if you order from Capture Prey, look out for this, because this is a wonderful kind of piece that just is thrown in. Now, as for Sideswipe himself, as you can see, beautiful looking 80s version of the Lamborghini Countach. This thing is a spot-on representation of how that thing looked. Wonderful paint detail on here. I do have some minor problems. I'll touch on that here in a second, but overall, very nice looking. I love the Autobot logo stamped in there. If you look really closely right here, there is the logo for Lamborghini right there, as well as on the back here, you can see it says Lamborghini there, and then Countach right there. Very cool. And then you can see some nice painted taillights here, but overall, very nice. Like I said, this is basically a spot-on representation of the Lamborghini Countach. Now, for comparison, here is MP-12, and here's the recent reissue of the Generation 1 Sideswipe. As you can see, again, very nice representation. Really kind of nails the similar look. And honestly, when we got this reissued to us, I was fairly certain that we were going to get this at some point in time. Not necessarily because this is an officially licensed product. I don't remember if it had that on there, although, well, that's not the Lamborghini logo. But to get the likeness, I really kind of anticipated that's what we were going to get with this. And you can see just how similar these are. I mean, even the hubcaps here. You got the little dots in the middle. You got that as well. You come around here to the back. Very similar again. You got the undercarriage kind of here. You also got that going on there as well. So they did a wonderful job of really recreating the same look from the old G1 toy to what we have here now with the new Masterpiece figure. And for another comparison with a more recent kind of Sideswipe figure, here's the classic version. And again, you can see that one thing that people are, like I said, complaining about is the fact that this Masterpiece 12 is a fairly small figure. You can definitely see a size difference here. And that, like I said, is one of the biggest complaints. Now, obviously, this is a much more modernized looking Lamborghini. This is more designed to look like the Gallardo with some other elements thrown into it. And that's just Hasbro's way of getting away with not having to get licensing rights and such. But you can definitely see that one of the things that I'm going to talk about is even prevalent on this, where the roof is painted red, much like what we have with the MP-12. We'll get to that here in a little bit. Now, one of the biggest complaints people are having with this is the size of the figure compared to its cost. And we'll touch on that a little bit more, but the size is really designed to be in scale with the new kind of size class that they're going for. And to kind of illustrate that, here we have the trailer for Masterpiece 10. As you can see, Sideswipe, well, with the help of lifting it up, he can't really drive in there very well, but he can fit nicely inside there, and there's actually still quite a bit of room that you can see in there. Now, it's designed like that because that is what the G1 cartoon scale really was designed for when it comes to these new Masterpiece figures. So that's exactly why these ones have been scaled down or in so much smaller, so that these can fit and be a lot more interactive, I suppose. And then for his accessories, he does come with his missile launcher. Get this out of there. That pegs onto his shoulder, and then he also comes with a very nice silver painted gun that, as you can see, they can combine like so. And then you have a really nice kind of spring-loaded kind of tab right in here. Using a little, well, really ugly rusty razor, you can see that once you put it in, it comes right back out, which is absolutely nice. And then you just take this and peg that on there, and now you have, well, a tank Lamborghini, I suppose. And then you can see that it is articulated, but that really looks goofy. At least there's some place to store it on there, but honestly, it's something that kind of annoys me. And I'll get to that here in a little bit, because they have this wonderful tab built in here, and this is what they have incorporated with. And again, I'll get to that here in a little bit. But that kind of leads me into the negatives, I suppose, about this vehicle mode. This is a Masterpiece figure, and from what I can tell, there is no die cast in this at all. Every single Masterpiece figure had a bit of him that was designed to be die cast. Now, I know that the recent movie-verse Masterpiece figures,
I guess you could kind of see those were the first ones to not utilize die cast, but I don't really count those as masterpiece figures. This is what I consider a masterpiece figure. No die cast, and that's really unfortunate. He also doesn't have rubber tires. Now that doesn't bother me nearly as much. Rubber tires, you know, are prone to crack, and I actually discovered on my MP-10 that the trailer wheels on one side of them are actually cracking. So I don't mind the plastic, and as you can see, that's a very nice painted tire, so it works just about perfectly. But those are the only real negatives when I look at this and think of the cost and the fact that it's a masterpiece figure. Now I also touched on the roof job. Now again, I'm going to try to zoom in, and here you can kind of see the difference. Now this, like for the example here and here, that's all molded red plastic. You have this whole roof section, and it comes all the way down here onto the side, and again you can see a difference in the color. This is it's a darker red. I mean, it's painted. You can totally see it. And because of that, it gives a, well, it might actually be the same paint, but you're painting on top of black, so it gives it a darker look to it. That kind of bugs me, because I can totally see that to the naked eye. It's not, I guess, something that you can't see, but I can see it clear as day that there's a noticeable paint difference here. Now I should say fortunately don't have really any paint blemishes, except there's one little bit right here. Zooming in, you can kind of sort of see it right there, and then there's right there you can see it's like there were globs of paint there. It wasn't a very smooth application of the paint, so that screws things up. But especially like right there, you can see a big difference in terms of the color of the paint, because like I said, underneath there is black, so that's definitely noticeable. But honestly, those are the worst parts of this figure. Other than those, I really like the guy, and I think he's a wonderful addition to any masterpiece collection. Now, the transformation for this guy is actually fairly simple. What you want to do first, come around here to the wheels, and then hover convert these little suckers. Make it into a little DeLorean. I honestly wish I could do that with these tires, because that would be kind of fun. But when you do it, fold them all the way in like so they're on an angle. It'll make it a little bit easier later on. Then come around here, kind of wiggle this. This is a little bit tough to get into. There we go. But when you pull it, separate that, and then you can fold that down just like so. Come around here to the side, take these. Again, you have to kind of wiggle to loosen up the tab. Kind of pull and separate just like so. Pull, separate, rotate these all the way out so they're pointing up at the top just like that, and then come around here and again kind of pull and separate the tab here on the side just like that, and angle that up like so. We'll deal with that here in a little bit. Then take these little silver bits, which will be a feet or his feet, fold those out, detach this section, rotate that around, and you can loosen this, rotate that up like that, and then fold these legs out like so. Then go ahead and split them. Come around here to the other side. These little bits here are going to rotate up like so. Do that on the other side here as well, and then rotate these so that they're all the way kind of down and flush. You'll kind of hear a little click when you rotate these all the way down. Well, maybe not. It doesn't actually lock into place. It just kind of sits there. Sorry. So that's what you have basically going on here. Then these little bits here on the inside, these are going to fold out just like so, and then rotate these down, and then you're going to see a little tiny tab section right there, a little hole right on the inside, and there's a little tab right there that's going to fit into. When you do it, it's going to line it up here as well, and then just kind of push this up. It's really kind of interesting. You got this kind of groove section right here, which is perfectly designed to fit for that. Then fold the foot up, come around here to the bottom, fold out the heel just like so. You had these probably out like that, fold those down and in like so. So now do that on this side as well. My lack of long fingernails always ruins things like this, so fold that out, fold that all the way down. There we go. So again, you want to tab that in there. There's a little section right here with a little groove on the black section that has to groove together, and then this slides up nicely. Fold the foot out or up, fold out the heel, and again this section here his spoiler just folds in just like so. And here you have the legs pretty much done. Coming up to the top, you got this little crotch piece. Go ahead, fold that down. Then this section here, you want to rotate this back on one joint and then forward on another one, and that'll kind of lock into place. Then underneath, right underneath this black section, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little hole section right up underneath there that's going to tab onto this piece right there, this little hook section. And if you have these wheels angled in like I showed you initially, it shouldn't be a problem. Just bring it down, give it a nice push, boom, there it is. You have his head right here. Go ahead and then fold these out. Well, fold that out there, rotate that down and around, accordion that, rotate that. Do that on this side as well. Come around here to the back section. Now this is really kind of interesting. These fold on two different hinges, so you want to fold one in and then fold it all the way in so it's kind of looking like that. Do that on this side as well. Loosen that up, fold it, rotate it in, so you're going to have it basically positioned like so. Then you can bring this all the way down, and that's going to sit nice and flush there on the back. Come around here, you got his exposed cranium, fold that forward like so. Come around here to the side, fold this out. You got his hands, fold that out, replace that. Do that on this side as well. Fold that out like so, replace that, straighten this all out, straighten out his head, and here you have Sideswipe in his robot mode. And for one final thing to complete the look, go ahead and take his missile launcher. Now, you can plug it into holes here or here, but for accuracy's sake, I'm going to go ahead and plug it in right there, just like so. And boom, guys, there you have Sideswipe. And honestly, this is literally about a perfect representation of the character. My only kind of minor nitpicks, there's a couple things else. Oh, and I actually forgot to do something. These little bits here, these fold forward. Sorry about that. Boom. So now it's complete. But I guess my minor nitpick would be his chest is kind of big. In the cartoon, it was a little bit more streamlined and thinner, but it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's, like I said, a very minor nitpick. And then I guess I would have liked to see maybe some panel lines on here. But again, minor nitpick. Now, in terms of this figure's articulation, his head's not really on a ball joint. It just moves left and right, and it can angle up and down just a little. But he's got a cranium detachment, so I don't know what that's all about. But there's that little bit of articulation. And then speaking about his face, that's an absolute wonderful looking head sculpt, and it's really kind of, even with all my lights, kind of hard to see, but his eyes are actually painted blue, which is very nice. Then his shoulders are also articulated. They rotate all the way around, just like so. They move in and out. They rotate here at the upper part of the bicep. There's two joints here at the elbow, so you can, if you get it just right, although it's actually kind of hard to do. Well, I don't even want to say that it's double jointed because it only goes back on that joint. So it really only has one joint here at the elbow. That's the other one is just part of the transformation, which really doesn't add to any of the posability for him. His wrists here, they rotate all the way around, and his hands, just this bit right here is articulated right at these joints. So you can get him to kind of open and close his hand like so. His thumb is static, so that won't move. He rotates a little bit, all the way around at the waist. You just have some back kibble here, which kind of hampers some of that movement, but it's not too bad. The hips move in and out, forward and back, but you really get a limited amount of forward movement when you have the crotch piece up or down like that. That's just going to lift it up, so you have to put that back down. Also rotates at the upper part of the thigh, bends at the knee, and then the feet. I guess you got some pivot here, a little bit of pivot side to side, so you can get some wider stance poses. And it looks like he's picking his butt. So articulation wise, absolutely wonderful on here. Everything that you would hope for on a masterpiece figure, and absolutely looks fantastic in the process. Now, for some comparisons, I got a whole bunch of different things out here. So here is the new MP-12, obviously. And here he is next to his G1 self. And obviously there is going to be a huge difference because the G1 figures were very tiny. But some people might complain because this guy is fairly small. Keep in mind, he's small like this now to scale with the new Masterpiece figures, and Takara is kind of doing this to give us some kind of cartoon accuracy. So obviously this isn't going to work. But here he is next to the classic version of himself, and this is where some people are really kind of complaining, because this is the deluxe size figure. Now, it came out a few years ago, so these deluxes were a little bit bigger than what we're getting now. But when you compare the two, really what you're looking at here is a Voyager size figure, and that's really kind of putting some people off. To me, honestly, I don't think it's that bad of a size. It doesn't bug me nearly as much as I thought it would. Because as I mentioned, he is designed now to be in a more cartoon accurate scale with the rest of the Masterpiece figures. As you can see, this is MP-10. And here is Sideswipe. This is roughly about the accurate size scale for these two figures, and that's really what the designers are going for. I think it's wonderful that finally Takara, Hasbro, whatever, are giving us figures in a proper kind of size scale. This is absolutely fantastic, and I love it. And just for some fun, here's a little recreation from the old cartoon series, a little jet judo for you guys. Now for the rest of his accessories, as I mentioned, you got his missile launcher here. He also does come with this flamethrower, or flare gun, whatever you want to call it. I think they actually call it a flare gun. And much like Rodimus Prime, you got little tabs here on the side, and then you got little holes inside here, so you just fit that in there, kind of wedge that in. It's a little tricky, there we go, but it fits in there nicely. And then you can have him holding his gun like so. And of course looking really cool. I mean, the gun is absolutely a wonderful representation of how it looked in G1 as well. Absolutely beautiful. Now, the other accessory that he comes with are the Piledrivers. And as I said, these are more designed to look how they did in a specific G1 episode. This being the Plague of the Insecticons. Now the silver set, we saw a silver set that were similar with the flat face on here in SOS Dinobots, but those were much smaller. These ones here, obviously, at least in my opinion, are designed to replicate the look from the Plague of the Insecticons. So to show those off, all you do is just put the hand back in, rotate this hand all the way back around, tuck that in, and you got a little tiny, it's really kind of hard to see because it's black, but a little tab there, and then you get a little hole section, and then you just fit this inside here like so, and you have his Piledriver on that arm. Come around here to this side, do the same thing here, rotate that around just like so. Take these, they're hollow, which I know has bugged some people, but you can position them where the hollow piece is on the inside and not really show that off, but I know some people would have preferred it if they were all one solid kind of piece. But here you have his Piledrivers, like I said, more designed to look how they looked in the Plague of the Insecticon episode, which I absolutely love. I think this is a wonderful accessory to include. But again, if you order this from Amazon Japan or Kapow Toys, you do get the silver ones that come with it. I just don't know where the silver ones really kind of come from. So to remove these, you just pull them off. Do that on both sides. They tab on there pretty good. And then just rotate his hands back out. Back to his normal position. Come on, there we go. Just like so, and then just close that back down. And like I said, great accessories. It really just kind of depends on what look you kind of really want to go for, I guess. Now, as I said, this is basically a perfect representation of Sideswipe. And despite the fact that I think he would look better with a little bit slimmer of a chest, some panel lines, I guess as a Masterpiece figure, the biggest thing people are going to be complaining about is, as I mentioned earlier, there is no die cast in this. So it really kind of feels light and not entirely Masterpiece worthy. I mean, a lot of people love the heft and the size of him, and because he's a smaller figure, and again, no die cast, I think that's going to put some people off, especially when you look online for the various prices. The Kapow one is going to be a little bit more because you get those Japanese exclusive Piledrivers, but still very well worth the price. If you go to Captured Prey and pick this up, you're only going to pay $78, which is cheaper than any other places that I found online, including TF Source and Big Bad Toy Store. So if you are interested in picking this up, the $78 price tag is a whole lot nicer than I think $85 and $90. $80 is about something that I would want to pay for this figure. But regardless, wherever you get it, it is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful figure. It just depends on how much you want to pay for it. Now, in terms of the accessories, again, the other thing that he doesn't have is a jetpack. And that's really kind of unfortunate, because one of the more memorable scenes that, well, you never see him use ever again, is a jetpack that he hands to Optimus Prime. Now, that would have been nice to absolutely see, especially since you have this bit right here, which you could clip it onto. You just go click, and it would stick right on there. So I'm really kind of underwhelmed with the lack of that accessory. It's definitely something that if you included into it, it would probably make the price go up, but would definitely really kind of remind people of a good scene from the original animated cartoon, and I think that would be absolutely wonderful to have. Now for his transformation back to his Lamborghini mode, first obviously take off the cannon, set that off to the side. And then these arms, you're going to rotate these around, open this section up, rotate his hand in just like so, and then you're going to rotate this around and angle this down so it's going to fit kind of like that. There's actually, if you look inside here, there's a little tiny hole and a little tiny white peg right there that you bring this down and you kind of peg it in there. This one here doesn't really like staying in very good, but it's not terrible. Do the same with this side, rotate that around, open this, rotate the hand down and around, close that, rotate this around, and then accordion this down, and again, tab that in there. This one stays in a whole lot better. And that's what you're basically going to have, his arms up. Then take this section, separate that, just kind of loosen that up, bring the back section away from the body. You can rotate these window bits out like so. Do that on both sides here. Kind of line that up, straighten this out, and then angle this up, and you can see where the rotation is, just like so. Kind of keep it just like that for right now. Come around here to the legs, fold the little feetums in, or I'm sorry, the heels into the feetums, rotate these bits out just like so, kind of angle this down, bring this down, bring that down, separate this, and again, don't pull too terribly hard, but you need to because you don't want to break anything. So fold that out, fold that in, do that on this side as well, fold that up, fold that down and inside like so, kind of flush with the heel, or I'm sorry, the thighs right there. Take this section, rotate this around, and as you do it, bring these up and line these back up with the actual tail lights. Just kind of do it right there. Do that on this side as well. Line that up, set it like so, come around here, rotate these all the way around, kind of keep these up for right now, rotate that all the way around, continue to rotate this section, and then these little bits here on the side, these rotate back around, do that there as well, rotate this up, and as you rotate this up, you can then rotate this around more, get this out of the way, fold this up, and then well, bring these together, and you can tab these together just like so, and then bring these spoilers together just like that, and then give that a nice squeeze. But it's kind of hard to see. On the inside here, there are two little tabs there, and then on the bottom of his feet are little holes. That's what you want to peg those into. So bring that up, line those up, and give those a nice little push right there. Come around here to the roof section, fold this down, and you kind of want to bring it down and swoop it in to kind of lock underneath. Makes it a little bit easier so that you can tab that in there, and there you have that. Go ahead and bring this out like so. Take his head, you actually have to lift this back and then fold this kind of underneath, bring this up, and then you've got these little sections here, and they're going to just tab together. Bring these arms in at that point, lock that in, lock that in, and give that a nice squeeze, and then DeLorean him, and then just rotate these out like so, and here you have him back in his Lamborghini Countach mode. One thing I actually forgot is I forgot to fold his little cross piece up, which is going to be a pain in the butt to get to now. There we go. Make sure you fold that up, because when you bring this down, it won't roll very well. But now you officially have him back in his Lamborghini mode. And for one little more fun size comparison, here you have the Spike figure that comes with Masterpiece Optimus Prime. And this, too, scales very nicely if you ask me. Maybe it's a little bit smaller of a human, but that really kind of looks about right if you ask me. And maybe he would be a little bit taller, something like that maybe. But it's whatever. There you see him. Now, as you guys watch this video, you saw all the pluses, all the minuses. So hopefully that's going to be able to give you an informed decision on if you want to pick this up or not. Where you pick it up from, though, is going to be the biggest determining factor. As I said, I really think that based on what we have right here, the size, the lack of die cast, no rubber tires, $80 is about the best price for this figure, and that's what I was luckily able to get it for at Captured Prey. I believe Big Bad Toy Store has it for $85 and TF Stores has it for $90. So really, like I said, when it comes down to it, why wouldn't you want to save a couple bucks? And of course, with Kapow Toys, if you're over in the United Kingdom, that's probably going to be your best bet to get it as well. Plus, you get those exclusive Piledriver things. Regardless, wherever you get this from, I believe it's absolutely worth it. When you're paying for a masterpiece figure, even though it's smaller than the other ones, the engineering that goes into this really is what you're kind of paying for. They do a tremendous job of taking a vintage G1 looking vehicle mode and making it transform into a very accurate looking robot mode. That's what the Masterpiece line's all about. Best looking vehicle modes and best looking robot modes. And this definitely carries on with that. So without a doubt, I would absolutely recommend picking this guy up. Now, that being said, I do have to be the bearer of bad news, but I will tell you, please take this with a grain of salt. In this job that I've been doing for some time, I've met a lot of people, and a lot of those people have various connections. And from what I gather, again, take this with a grain of salt. Hasbro is not going to be releasing this here in the United States. If you want to pick it up, you're probably going to have to get it from Takara. Now, could that possibly change? Absolutely. But these people that have told me that they've never been wrong before. So that's very unfortunate. But if you do want to get this, at least as of right now, the best of my knowledge says that this is not going to be coming to the United States. So if you are holding out waiting for that, you could miss on this entirely. So please keep that in mind when making your decisions. I'm just trying to give you guys as much information as I have. And again, I hope that helps you with your decision making. And now the only thing that I could probably say is I would love to see a Sunstreaker. But that's about it. So until next time, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. I'll talk to you later.